Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. So, family, this video is about the price of leadership. I'm not going to get too deep into this one the way I wanted to, only because I haven't studied the material thoroughly the way I actually should. But I do want to cover the basics. These are the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Pan-Africanist. He talks about the price of leadership. And as I read through it, I had to ask some of the same questions he asked because there's a lot of strife going on within the conscious community. One person claiming more powerful than the other, one claiming getting more views than the other, or having a larger platform than the other, and so on and so forth. And really, what we're still talking about is total division. And that's not going to get us anywhere. And so we have a lot of issues within our community that we need to really move past. And so I'm not going to point fingers or talk about anyone in particular, but I did want to cover some of the points that Marcus Mosiah Garvey speaks about when he talks about the price of leadership. And so with that, he goes on to say that we must be sympathetic. We must be forgiving. We must really have forbearance so that when the ignorant and illiterate follow who happens to be a member of our own race and stands up to block the passage of some cause that you believe would be to his benefit and to yours as a people, you will be able to overlook him, even though he fosters his opposition with the greatest amount of insult to your intelligence and to your dignity. And we see that, unfortunately, unfolding every day in social media, and especially on YouTube. There are so many different fragments of segments and groups and cliques that if you don't believe in one, well, we don't want to talk to you. And if you believe in this or believe in that, then we don't want to have anything to do with you. But don't you realize, brothers and sisters, that united we stand and divided we will always fall? And so we see this happening every day. And when it comes to leadership, though, we've been seeing a breakdown of the conscious community where you have someone on. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to just put it to you like this, so that way you'll get the gist of it, and you may even know who I'm talking about. You have a person who is on this level. Okay, they have all the credentials, they have all the scholastic achievements and everything to support what they stand for. And then you have someone on this level here. And on this level, this person also has a platform and has something to stand on also, but they don't have the certifications of this person up here. So this person right here on this level starts running their mouth, and they're just running their mouth, and really they're running their mouth about this person up here. Okay? And then this person up here gets so mad that they respond, and they come down to this level to respond to this person right here. But do you see the problem with this picture? The leadership that was once up here is now down here because of this big mouth right here that you really shouldn't be paying too much attention to. And that's what I saw when I got back in town from visiting with my family. I was going through some of my videos and some of the videos and checking out what was going on with the YouTube community, especially the conscious community. And I saw how a great brother who I highly respect, who is certainly about things and about making things happen, I saw him reduce himself to the level of a big mouth. And what's so cold about the big mouth? The big mouth is trying to make claim to the conscious community on the internet. When I remember when the internet first started, they had what was called news groups. They didn't have YouTube and doing videos and Instagram and so on and stuff like that. They didn't have that at the time. They had news groups. And I remember I was one of the few on the news groups who were challenging daily the Eurocentrists and their shenanigans talking about the ancient Egyptians were white. I was one of the few black men who was very, very boisterous in social media before YouTube even came along. They didn't even have the name YouTube yet. And so here it is, we have this big mouth, and I'm not saying his name, but he's very loud in the conscious community who's trying to stake claim that he's the one that started it. It doesn't even matter whether you started it or not. What difference does that make? Seriously, the black community, the black race, worldwide, we are being exterminated. We are being targeted, and you're worried about what you done started. And so, my brother on the higher level, who reduced himself to the big mouth's level, I really hated to see that, because I know that this brother is way better than that. But that's what you did. You reduced yourself to that level. And so I'm going to flip the switch right now, and I'm going to talk about somebody else. This brother is a young brother, highly intelligent. He can come to you with metaphysics and astronomy and everything else in between. The brother does lectures. I guess he gets paid. He's got a large sub base, so he's got a pretty good platform going for himself. But recently, he put out a video exposing some of the people in the conscious community, and then he took the video down. I personally didn't get a chance to see the video, but I've heard about it. And so there's some people who have a copy of the video. And as a matter of fact, there's one brother in particular who did his own video about this brother in the conscious community, this young brother. I'm giving you clues as to who I'm talking about without saying his name. Now, the brother did the video exposing this young conscious community brother. He did a video exposing him, saying how can you claim that the black woman is God, but then in another video, and he calls out the woman's name, who this young brother turned around and called her a heifer and some other derogatory names, and saying that something to the effect that she should be banished from the planet Earth or something to that along those lines. And as this brother exposed, this young conscious community brother, he exposed him for saying those things, and he did it rightfully so, because you can't claim the black woman is God and then you turn around and treat her like a dog, so to speak, because you disagree with her. And so I just want to say that in the conscious community, all of us seriously need to take a step back take a deep breath, and come to the same table so we could discuss the issues. We are in dire straits. The people out here are hungry for knowledge and information. People want things done. So, with that said, I'm going to end this off with the words of Marcus Garvey. And this, he writes, is an appeal to the intelligentsia. I'm not going to start it from the beginning, but I'm going to start it where I think it's most relevant. He goes to say that this great fight for the race's emancipation everywhere and the founding of a great African government, every sober-minded Negro will see immediately the reason why we should support a movement of this kind. If we will survive, then it must be done through our own effort, through our own energy. No race of weaklings can survive in the days of tomorrow, because they will be hard and strenuous days, fraught with many difficulties. I appeal to the higher intelligence as well as to the illiterate groups of our race. We must work together. Those of us who are better positioned intellectually must exercise forbearance with the illiterate and help them to see the right. If we happen to be members of the same organization and the illiterate man tries to embarrass you, do not become disgusted, but remember that he does it because he does not know any better. And it is your duty to forbear and forgive, because the ends that we serve are not of self, but for the higher development of the entire race. It is on this score, it is on this belief that I make the sacrifice of self to help this downtrodden race of mine. Nevertheless, I say there is a limit to human patience, and we should not continue to provoke the other fellow against his human feelings, for in doing so, we may be but bringing down our own heads. We may be but bringing down upon our own heads the pillars of the temple. That is Marcus Garvey, the opinions and philosophies of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So family, I'm going to end this video off now, but I just want to say I'm subbed to quite a few people on YouTube now. One of my somebody who I subbed to, I saw his video recently where he is clowning different segments of the conscious community. I say this, none of that is helping us. None of it is helping us. I mean, I could have did a video like that myself. I could have just came out blazing and talking about one person to the next. But that isn't solving any of our issues. And you guys who call yourselves conscious and call yourselves leaders, you're not doing the right thing by showing us this ugly side of disunity and disorganization. Brother man, and you know who I'm talking about, you're a great leader and you talk about organization, and with that you can't turn around on the flip side of the coin and go straight ghetto on people when you want people to follow you. You're a great leader. Why would you sink or lower yourself to someone else's standards? That you cannot do. So with that said, I'm just going to leave it off there. The words of Marcus Garvey stand out in my mind. He is a Pan-Africanist, or he was a Pan-Africanist. He was one of the greatest black leaders that we know in North America, who brought millions of black people together for a cause. He did this way before the Million Man March, and it wasn't just a march, by the way. It was a steam line, a shipping steam line, an entrepreneurial effort on the part of the black race is what he accomplished. And so with that, family, in order for us to move forward and accomplish what we will, we need to get organized. Forgive, forbearance, and sacrifice. Thanks a lot for watching, family. This is Guru. Peace and love to you and yours. If you're watching this video, please subscribe. Thank you.